Hello everybody, today I will be drawing a random superhero. That superhero is going to be chosen by the will, and it is Captain America. Captain America was created by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. He appears in Marvel Comics, and his first comic was published on December 20th, 1940, right in the midst of World War II. America had just joined the war. Marvel wanted a superhero to be able to promote American patriotism. They went to Joe Simon and Jack Kirby for this, and they created Steve Rogers. Born on July 4th, 1920, blonde-hair, blue-eyed Steve Rogers would later be known as Captain America, after taking a super soldier serum, because before he took the serum, the military saw him as too small and skinny. He had a number of health problems at the time, but Dr. Erskine was there, and he was running the super soldier program. Dr. Erskine saw something in Steve Rogers that nobody else saw. So he took Rogers, and Rogers became one of the only successful super soldiers at the time. The character quickly emerged as one of the most commercially successfully wartime heroes created with an original publication. Captain America comic number 1 was published on December 20th, 1940, as I have stated previously, with a cover date of March of 1941. While the front cover of the issue featured Captain America punching Hitler, the comic itself established the Red Skull as Captain America's primary adversary, and also introduced Bucky Barnes as Captain America's teenage sidekick. Bucky would later become the Winter Soldier and fight against Captain America. But after he fought against Captain America, Steve Rogers, Bucky would become Captain America himself. Captain America would then go on for many, many years to be one of America's most popular superheroes. He is well known for wearing the American colors, red, white, and blue, but possibly even more well known for the big vibranium shield he carries. In the comics, however, the shield is made of proto-adamantium, which is a mix of vibranium and adamantium. Sometimes kind of depends on the writer. Steve Rogers has been played by Chris Evans and many, many other actors in various movies. Chris Evans, however, is the most popular actor to play Steve Rogers, as he plays Steve Rogers in the mainline MCU movies. Captain America has many powers. He is, in fact, the peak human physical condition. He is the perfect physical specimen, and he has many powers, including superhuman-ish strength, enhanced speed, enhanced intellect, and many others. He is also highly trained in many martial arts, and the super soldier serum gave him enough endurance to do so. Captain America has many, many allies, including Sharon Carter, Iron Man, Submariner, Bucky Barnes, Falcon, Thor, Black Widow, Dr. Bruce Banner / Hulk, and many, many, many more. Some of the most popular Captain America villains include Red Skull and Baron Zemo. Red Skull was introduced from the character's origins as an apprentice to Adolf Hitler. Just as Red Skull represents Nazism, many of Captain America's villains represent specific ideologies or political formations. For example, the Serpent Society represents labor unionism, and Flag Smasher represents anti-nationalism. The political character of Captain America's enemies has shifted over time. The character has fought enemies associated with communism during his brief revival in the 50s, before shifting back to Nazi antagonists in the mid-60s. While comics since the tragic events of 9/11 have frequently depicted the character facing terrorist villains. The title of Captain America has been used by other characters in the Marvel Universe in addition to Steve Rogers, including William Naslund, Jeffrey Mace, and William Burnside. John Walker, also known as the U.S. Agent, was introduced as a villainous Captain America in 1988, and Isaiah Bradley, who was established in 2003's limited series Truth, Red, White, and Black, was an African-American man who acquired superpowers after being used as a test subject for the Super Soldier Serum. Steve Rogers' sidekicks, Bucky Barnes and Sam Wilson, have also alternately held the title of Captain America. Barnes held it in 2008 following Rogers' death in 2007, and Wilson following Marvel's 2012 rebranding campaign Marvel Now. Within the multiverse of parallel universes that compose the Marvel Universe, there are many variations of Steve Rogers and Captain America. This includes Marvel's Ultimate Comics, which possesses its own version of Steve Rogers that is more overtly politically conservative. As I said before, Captain America is one of the most popular and widely recognized Marvel Comics characters and has been described as an icon of American pop culture. He is the most well-known and enduring United States-themed superheroes to emerge from the Second World War, and inspired a proliferation of patriotic-themed superheroes in American comic books during the 1940s. This included the American Crusader, the Spirit of 76, Yankee Doodle, Captain Flag, and Captain Courageous, among numerous others. Though none would achieve Captain America's commercial success, the volume of Captain America imitators was such that 3 months after the character's debut, Timely published a statement indicating that there is only one Captain America, and warning that they would take legal action against publishers that infringed on the character. After being dismissed from Timely, Joe Simon and Jack Kirby would themselves create a new patriotic superhero, the Fighting American. They created the Fighting American for Prize Comics in 1954. The character became the subject of a lawsuit from Marvel in the 1990s after Rob Liefeld attempted to revive the comic character following his own departure from Marvel. When the character was killed in 2007, he was eulogized in numerous mainstream media outlets, including the New York Times and the Los Angeles Times, with the former describing him as a national hero. In 2011, Captain America placed 6th on IGN's Top 100 Comic Book Heroes of All Time, and 2nd in their 2012 list of the Top 50 Avengers. Going back to Sam Wilson for a little bit, Sam Wilson was introduced in 1969 as the superhero Falcon, who would also become Captain America's sidekick, making the character's first interracial superhero duo in American comic books. Possessing the power to communicate with birds, Sam Wilson is initially depicted as a former social worker living in Harlem, though this identity is revealed to be the result of memories implanted by the Red Skull. He later receives a winged suit from the superhero Black Panther that enables him to fly. Other characters who have served as Steve Rogers' sidekick include Golden Girl, Betty Ross, Demolition Man, Dennis Dunphy, Jack Flag, Jack Harrison, and Free Spirit, Kathy Webster. Historically, Marvel has trended away from making overt partisan statements in the post-war period, writers have nevertheless used Captain America to comment on the state of American society and government at particular moments in history. For example, the conspiracy storyline of Secret Empire reflected what writer Steve Englehart saw as broad disillusionment with American institutions in the wake of the Vietnam War and the Watergate scandal. The Streets of Poison storyline by Mark Grunwald in the 1990s was intended to address anxieties around the drug trade and debates on the war on drugs. And Civil War by Mark Miller was widely interpreted as an allegory for the Patriot Act and post-9/11 debates on the balance between national security and civil liberties. While the ideological orientation of Captain America's stories has shifted in response to changing social and political attitudes, Captain America's suit has remained largely consistent from its original incarnation in the 1940s. One of the most famous pieces of the Captain America suit is the shield. The shield is the character's primary piece of equipment, and it is a round shield with a white star on a blue circle surrounded by red and white rings, first appearing in Captain America Comics number 1 as a triangular heater shield. Beginning in Captain America Comics number 2, it was changed to its current circular design due to a complaint from a separate comics company that the design was too similar to their own superhero's chest design, the shield. The shield is depicted as constructed from an alloy of vibranium and adamantium. And there you have it. There's Captain America.